Damien on Tuesday when he averaged 90.04. But yesterday, even though he got less points,
74.
He averaged 92.37. And when people are averaging that for a daily campaign in Group A, we've got to take notice.
Nick Fulwell is starting to make us think we need to take notice of him, because in 2 of his first 3 visits, he's found 2 trebles, which is what Mole's done already. Make that 3. This could be every bit as good, if not better than Group A, Paul.
I really hope so. What's going on with Mole here? 174, 168.
6 perfect darts from the Dutchman. If he can make it 9 with a Shanghai shot, then this will be a brilliant blitz. Just couldn't get the bit at the end right, and that is so often the bit that matters in this sport.
What a great first leg of the day. More of that, please. That's never going to cut it. But this might. Double 5. And a first leg of the day for Damien.
Damien Mole.
Fulwell has found himself in an awkward spot here. Cannot afford to drop this dart low. He doesn't. He pins it straight in the double 1 bed. And that's a fantastic start to Nick Fulwell's Group C campaign. Begins with a win, a 4-1 success against the much fancied Damien Mole. And we posed the question at the top of the show whether or not Nick Fulwell had been underestimated by the odds compilers. I think he's just given us the answer already. He wins 4-1. The next incomer to this week is Dave Ladley, and he takes on a former weekly winner at the Super Series, Colley. He won't overturn it if Ladley can climb the ladder.
I knew that shot was going to come up at some point.
60. Ratio required 32.
Forgot his ladder. 2 8s. Must find it.
Game shot.
And a very good shot from Reese to keep this match alive.
Enjoyed in this game. Hit it twice already. And he will get 3 darts at it to win his opening match at the Super Series.
David required 20.
2 5s instead. And he does win on debut. So ladders can't climb the ladder on the 122 times, but he can win a game by 4 legs to 3. Maybe not the kind of standard that will see him towards the top 2 at this time tomorrow, but winning is winning at the end of the day, and his doubles were very tidy indeed. If you can be around that 40% mark, we've already seen a couple of times today from Fulwell and Ladley, who are joining us here in Group C this week, that is good enough to win, because it has been for both of them. Matt Cast will join us for the first time as well in Game 3. He'll have the darts against Big Jimmy. Peculiar double for him this week. There's one thing Matt wants to say about this game, and that is, there she goes. It's the bull for there she goes again.
Well,
62. Jimmy required.
That was a long way off, wasn't it? After all that big build-up, Matt might be about to be cast aside. As Vani takes aim at double 6 and hits to get the win. A break in the decider. Cast, he blew it really with the last visit. The missed big number that only gave him a dart at the bullseye, which he achieved, but then couldn't find it. And Matt Cass goes down to Jimmy Vani, the group favourite. Maybe not playing like a group favourite, but winning. And that is, of course, the most important thing. Coming next, we are going to see Damien Mole back in action. He's going to take on Dave Ladley.
You're not going to find it. That's the second best thing you can do. Same plan, different result. And Dave Ladley, after 2 rounds on his debut day at the Motor Super Series, is undefeated. Undefeated Dave. And he likes it. I don't blame him. Someone who has had his fair share of troubles in life over the last 10 years, but he's showing his mental strength by winning with the inferior average, and Damien Mole knows a thing or two about that this week. Of that, there is no doubt. 4 out of 14 on the doubles. Maybe not as good as he was in Game 2, but it's still good enough to be at the top of the table after 4 matches played. Jimmy Vani will come back to the hockey now, and his task is a little bit tougher now as he takes on Nick Fulwell.
Same checkout, Fulwell with the first go at it. And he has gone high, wide and handsome.
82.
Good recovery though.
Jimmy require 156.
Perfect. Also perfect. Double 18. And his biggest finish of the week comes at a very nice time to double his lead.
As well, but he's too far behind in this leg, and he may find himself too far behind in this match. Double 18 again. Wow, back to back, three-figure finishers.
Jimmy Vani.
Yeah, that's something else. Most people these days like treble 19 on this shot, but Nick's from the old school. And now he's got the bullseye to save the match.
Game shot on the Fulwell.
Take it and run, Nick. Take it and run.
Fulwell.
Just that little step back before taking aim at double 18. And again,
66.
multiple darts missed at double when he's
56.
on small finishes. Does he need to step back? I'm going to come to that point if we get another leg to talk about it, which we will if Fulwell hits tops.
16.
We'll pause that thought for a moment.
Jimmy
Yeah, let's have a little look at that when he plays against Damien Moll in Game 7. Because this one's done. And Jimmy Vani has found himself to 4 points, just like Dave Ladley. But that performance there, even though he has got the best average of the day so far, it was littered with misses at double. And if you couple that game with his first game, the attempts and the hits are identical. 4 hits from 17 twice, and it tells you that his opponents are not punishing him when he's missing. However, we go through to match number 6 now. What are we going to guess from Colley and Cast?
Reach require 100.
I'm talking to Reese, not to Chris Murphy.
He didn't make his mind up with this earlier, did he?
No, he didn't. And he's done exactly the same again.
60. Matthew requires 60.
Bizarre, that. 2 legs. Or 200 attempts on the spin. He was caught between 2 minds. It's a footballer who can't decide whether to cross or shoot.
Game shot
And he's been stung by that indecision. Match darts by Matt Cass.
55.
Reese Colley hasn't had much rub of the green this week.
45.
And Colley's wobbles continue.
Required 20.
Just symptomatic of what we've seen so far today. Not that assured from either player, but getting a second visit to take the match gives Matt Cass the first win here in week number 6. So he leaves the stage, not particularly with a massive smile, but he will be very, very happy that he's now in the race with his first 2 points, equalising Nick Fulwell in the table. And because of leg difference and legs won, he's actually gone above Nick Fulwell into 3rd position. When we come back, it will be the start of round number 3, and it will be an all-Dutch affair as Moll takes on Vani.
112.
I would think it spells trouble when Vani's left on a number like 16. I don't fancy him. He might not even get a go. He won't get a go. Moll suddenly in the mood.
16.
Finally he crosses the line. Moll gets a 4-3 win in the Dutch Derby. Jimmy Vani cut down to size for the first time in this group. And that is an invaluable victory for Moll, who despite having the lower average in that game, in quite a turnaround really for him this week, has got the one. A 4-3 success, including 112 checkout, 44% on the finishing there for Moll. A couple of 180s, but the most important thing of all, he's got points on the board. And coming up next, Matt Cass is back in action against Dave Ladley. And how he overcame them.
170.
Oh, does he fancy the fish? He does! And Ladley reels it in.
Dave Ladley.
A 170 maximum checkout. And Dave Ladley's day goes from good to better.
Rounded.
Matt requires 32.
Lots of love for Dave Ladley in that chat room, but Matt Cass might be about to break a few of their hearts here. Oh, can he? Is there a way? There is a
Game shot on
way.
the third leg.
Get out of the
Matt
way.
Cass.
Get into the bed. Matt Cass somehow forces a dart into the double and forces his way
Well,
back
it's
into the
Matt
match.
to
It's the
throw
second
first.
time he's done that today.
Ladley has won both of his games so far. What gives? Who wins? He does.
Game shot
Matt
and
Cass
the
pips
match.
Dave Ladley at the
Matt
post.
Cass.
And that makes this group ever the more interesting because the victory for the ADC qualifier sees him go level on points with the man he's just beaten and the man at the top of the table, Jimmy Van Ski. There's only 2 points between the top 5 and 4 points between top player Jimmy Van Ski and bottom player Reece Colley, who's in action next against Nick Fulwell.
I think he did the right thing in the end. Great first start. It's got to be 12 now. For double top. Superb from
Game shot on the
Fulwell
fifth leg.
to save the match.
Nick Fulwell.
There.
35. Reach your requirement,
23,
40.
24 points. Fulwell's done really well to get 2 legs in this match. But it's a match that is won by Reece Colley, and deservedly so. A 4-2 success for Chaos, who is looking to cause a stir in this group after losing his first 2 games. Colley bounces back and picks up some points. There are only now 2 points separating all of the players in the table after 3 rounds of fixtures as Colley defeats Fulwell 4-2. And we move into game 10 after this short break when Jimmy Van Ski is back in action against Dave Ladley. Ladley might be able to just threaten to force a decider. Gets a treble.
100.
We should
Give me a
start calling
requirement,
Dave Rodney.
122.
But it's Dave Ladley who might be falling over if double 7 is found by Jimmy, who is now top of the table on his own on points. He doesn't get the massive victory, but I assure you he's going to be very, very pleased that he's got 6 points. And that was a really good performance from the big Dutchman. 89.19 the average. Maybe it could have been a little bit better, but Dave Ladley is someone who is very hard to get rid of. 40% on the doubles again for him, but he's going to have to settle for 4 points from his first 4 games. When we come back, Reece Colley, who was much improved in his previous match, will try to do exactly the same in his 4th match of the week against Damien Mott.
181.
The irony if he wins this leg on the bull, won't need to. Taking his time, he knows the problem he's had in this match.
Game shot
But no
on the
sign of
sixth
it
leg.
there.
Reece Colley.
This is a gutsy display from Reece Colley to get back into the game.
It might just be the kind of display that he needs. I do believe that Matt Cass has hit this finish before here, when he went bull 25 bull against a certain Danny Lowby.
So tops to get it done
53.
as Nick
Mate,
Fulwell's
recorded
head
40.
drops. Matt Cass hits
Game
tops
shot and the
and
match.
climbs north
Matt
in the
Cass.
league table. He now joins Jimmy Van Ski on 6 points, leaving Nick Fulwell stranded on 2. He'll get the chance to add to that tally, but he may have to win his last match of the day. Cass wins it 4-2. Great finishing stats from him, the ADC qualifier. 4 out of 7 on the doubles. He'll be back in the very last game of the day to take on Damien Malt. Nick Fulwell will meet Dave Ladley in the penultimate affair, but before that, Reece Colley and Jimmy Van Ski, the league leader, are going to be in action after the break. The bookmakers are rarely wrong.
This has got to be white hot from here.
140.
Colley's got to dig deep. And these two have been duelling since Monday morning. Reece has not lost to Jimmy all week, but he's running the risk of his first loss to the big man if he doesn't keep it there.
180.
Maximums exchanged. Last leg he went 4 perfect darts. This leg he's gone 5. Make that 6, and the prospect of perfection is on.
Somebody gave Owen Binks a lozenge.
6.
Jimmy, you require
Jimmy require
greatness.
141.
And it's on. That one was a long way off.
And now Reese can win the leg.
93.
The real rush of blood, wasn't it? But yeah, you're absolutely right. Colley's been superb amongst the storm here from Jimmy Vansky, who does not like that dart at all. He wouldn't like this checkout if it goes.
Double 14. Oh, it's magical from Reese Colley.
Reese Colley.
Leg of the week right there. That was stunning from both players. He's doing everybody else apart from Jimmy a favour to hold one of the better players of the day and keep him at 6.
Well, 2 players have played to the peak of their powers, but it's Colley who comes out on top. An absolute epic of the Modus Super Series. And Colley, in the bigger picture, may have just kept his hopes alive. He doesn't know where it's been for the rest of the week, but boy did it come out then. A 4-3 success over Jimmy Vansky, the league leader, that keeps Colley in contention. 2 1-2-1 checkouts turn that tie on its head, and Reese Colley remains in the race to make it back through to finals night this week. Now, coming up next, Nick Fulwell, he's in the same spot. He needs to double his points tally to have a realistic chance tomorrow. Can he do it by beating Dave Ladley?
Might want to stick around, Nick. Get yourself a ton or more here. You might have a wonderful chance of winning the match 4-2. That'll do very, very nicely. Nick Fulwell's leg difference is -4. If he finds tops, it will be -2. Ladley's would also be -2 with 4 points.
Interesting that Ladley went tops for bull there as well, but it's tops for Fulwell, who defeats Dave Ladley, and this group is going to be congestion. There's going to be traffic tomorrow at the Modus Super Series in Group C. It is a mop of the brow for Nick Fulwell, who knows that that might be what's kept him in the race, and it's kept Dave Ladley near him as well. He's on 4 points, so is Fulwell, as is Reese Colley and Damien Mole, who's in action next, and he's trying to stop Matt Cast from topping the table. Stay with us for that. You expecting me to answer?
It was a rhetorical question.
134.
Well, you want to be in the red and out of the black, don't you, in this game?
45. Matt, you require
Yeah, whoever wins this game is not going to get a tease made.
And he's in the red with each of those darts. Treble 18 tops. Cass once again takes his opportunity. 3 out of 4 on the doubles in this game, and he might be saving his best until last.
Yeah, this is ultimately he's getting himself a shot at tops.
So to clock up 8 points. Double 10, and that is a tremendous start to Group C for Matt Cass, who, as an ADC qualifier, has turned up and taken the lead. A 4-2 success against Damien Mole, who respects that performance from his opponent. Everybody seems to have upped their game, and that is the best performance we've seen from Cass today. An average of over 95, a couple of 180s in there. Again, really good finishing from Clinical Cast, who tops the table at the end of day 1. And stay with us for a few more moments, because we will reflect on all of today's action and preview tonight's in just a couple of minutes' time.
We've talked about Group C situations in the past. Even if you win all 5 matches on the Thursday, you're not safe until you get to at least 14 points. We used to say 12, but we know that doesn't work.